unnecessarily undermines constitutional institution, which does not mean you should not make these allegations if they are true. Now, the very same election commission has issued you the notice to hold elections as far back when you were in government. Can we start from there? What was the malafide then? Please read that notice, the first one, because that, from a timeline point of view, that will be very important. Because if we have to gauge whether suddenly the euphemism that is used, establishment is weighing heavy on the election commission and doing something, we will certainly hear this. But then, how did they know then? When the very same establishment, surely it was not your allegation then that they were siding with the Election Commission of Pakistan. So if you're going to make it dramatic and political, then give the whole context or keep it legal. So if you're going to use, I respect every constitutional body. You said malafide in fact and law. Did we appoint them? You all appoint these people. We don't appoint them. So when you just throw an allegation is not acceptable because you don't serve Pakistan then. We need these institutions. We can make them better. If they're not doing their job, force them to do the job. That's our job. But we cannot take on their responsibilities because you'll be the first to complain. We will not take on the responsibilities of Parliament. As I've repeatedly stated, you will be the first to complain. Who is he? I'm the parliamentarian. I'll make the law. I want to. We judge the law, whether it's constitutional or not, and that's it. बिल्कुल सही। दरअसल आप ये मैलिफिडे का जो आप एंगल अगर ले रहे हैं तो इसको सब्सटैंशिएट कीजिए। मैं जिस तरह लूँगा, it changes the prism completely. Right. If they are malafide, then we look at them at very suspect eyes, or you take away this allegation. I'm not saying take it away. It's your call.
I'll be totally non-political in my arguments, Your Lordship. As always, there's no point in bringing, although it's relevant to a political party, this case, but I will keep it very legal. And on the malafide in fact and law, I will be more relying on procedural malafide than anything else. I will not go into.
Are you withdrawing the allegation of malafide in fact? Because it's very important. You have to answer this.
When I use the word malafide in fact, maybe I was wrong in saying in terms of.
So you can withdraw it if you want to. You don't withdraw it if you don't want to.
I'm not even going there into that arena. I am basically going to argue that there's a procedural clear cut on the record.
I'm noting that you are withdrawing you're not saying malafide.
I'm not saying malafide in fact.
Please proceed.
In that sense,
you are always fair. Please proceed.
Now, Your Lordship, so I was starting by saying that symbol is a fundamental right of a political party under Article 17, Sub-Article 2. And I'm not saying that Your Lordship said back it up. I will back it up with a judgment which is known as the famous symbols case.
Benazir Bhutto case? Ji. I think both parties are relying on the same judgment.
They are not. They are relying on the other Benazir Bhutto judgment of 88. I am relying on the 89 judgment.
So, citation please.
It is PLD 89 Supreme Court.
1989 Supreme Court.
66.
It is 66.
12 judges sat on this case, and it's basically all about symbol.
Relevant page?
I will just read that relevant page. But before that, Your Lordship, let us look at the effect of no symbol.
No, एक second. देखिए, maybe I at least the fundamental question is, if elections are proper, I for one don't think that you should be deprived of the symbol. So can this, when you citing Benazir Bhutto, was it a question of inter-party elections or no?
No, it was a question that a symbol was the symbol was being taken away.
You can't just deprive someone of their symbols. But here it is connected with the party elections.
My point
because certification, suppose there is a particular time within which you have to file a certificate. You don't comply with the time. I don't think it's such a relevant thing that a person should be deprived of their fundamental rights or even normal rights. So when we read this judgment, we'll have to consider the fact that it was not a question where the political party had not held elections. Yes, Who can deny the importance of a symbol?
But my reason for reading this judgment will be separate, different. My reason for reading this judgment would be to show to this honorable court that a symbol is not just the right of a political party. Symbol is a right of the illiterate millions of people of Pakistan who rely on the symbol for the purposes of exercising their right of vote. They rely on a political party symbol for the purposes
Ali Zafar, I think maybe it's too fine a point of what. I don't disagree with you at all. But
so I will
no, but पूरी बात सुन लें. मगर मैं कुछ और कह रहा हूँ
जी.
एक नाम होता है ना. Political party is a name, but at the end of the day, political party कौन होते हैं? जो लोग उसको कंट्रोल कर रहे हैं. ठीक है. कल कोई जासूस घुस जाए किसी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी में, उसको एक कागज का टुकड़ा पेश कर दें कि जी हम ये पॉलिटिकल पार्टी बन गए. आपकी पार्टी का नहीं कह रहा, कोई और पॉलिटिकल पार्टी. ठीक है. वो उसी के मेंबर आए कि जी इलेक्शन नहीं हुआ, ये कैसे आ गए. तो पॉलिटिकल पार्टी की जब बात आप कर रहे हैं तो पॉलिटिकल पार्टी तो इनएनिमेट ऑब्जेक्ट है. एक नजरिया को रिफ्लेक्ट करती है, एक कुछ लोगों की समझ को रिफ्लेक्ट करती है. हम ये देखना चाहते हैं कि वो तरीक़ेकार हुआ या नहीं हुआ, और वो एक ही तरीके से हो सकता है इलेक्शन. अगर इलेक्शन, या तो आप कहें कि जी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी इलेक्शन करे या ना करे, ये हमारी मर्जी, एक वो अलग मौक़िफ़ है, और ये इसको गायबी करने इलेक्शन को. मगर ये नहीं कह सकते हैं आप कि जी हम कागज़ का टुकड़ा पेश करें और इलेक्शन हो गए. आप हमें कम से कम मोटी मोटी उसकी जो इलेक्शन में जो बातें होती वो तो हमें दिखा दें कि जी हमने मौका दिया सबको, हमारे पास लोग आए, इतने लोगों ने नॉमिनेशन पेपर फाइल किया, इतने वोट इनको पड़े और इतने वोट इनको. हम ये बैठ करके गिनेंगे नहीं वोट्स, मगर कुछ तो आप हमें पेश कर दें ना. अभी हमारे सामने जो मसला आ रहा है, कम से कम इनका जो एलिगेशन है कि जी ये कागज़ का टुकड़ा है, ना आपने बताया कि किस जगह इलेक्शन हो रहे हैं. आपने पेशावर का तो जिक्र किया, मगर फिर आपने कोई और जगह जाके कर लिए, चमकनी में. मुझे नहीं पता है, मगर वो पेशावर नहीं है, कोई और जगह है. तो ये जरा बातें जब हम केस लॉ पे एकदम चले जाएंगे ना, तो जरा सा अगर इस पे आप फोकस करें, क्योंकि मेरे ख्याल में इलेक्शन हो गए फिर आपको जहमत करने की जरूरत नहीं होगी सिंबल पे जाने के लिए. वो आपका मेरे ख्याल में सब्जेक्ट टू व्हाट दे से एक वो नेचुरल इम्प्लीकेशन या राइट हो जाएगा.
बिल्कुल ठीक है सर, मैं अभी आपको उस पे आऊंगा. मैं सिंपली जो मैं आपसे गुजारिश कर रहा हूँ, आई अंडरस्टैंड योर लॉर्डशिप्स कंसर्न अबाउट द इलेक्शन, आई विल सेटिस्फाई दैट.
ECP की ऑर्डर में भी they have certain violations ना.
Not only violation of the appointment.
There are certain violations.
Not
If you want to see page 613 of the paper book, it is in fact page 10 of the order of the ECP. You can read certain paragraphs in which certain violations have been mentioned.
Let us read that order, because I want to be very clear. ECP is not saying that. I have read it.
नहीं उसका नहीं है, वो टोटल कह रहे हैं ना. वो
नहीं, इस तरह नहीं हो सकता सर. They are actually they have taken a very serious point on this, and
ये पढ़िए पहले, आप ये पढ़ लीजिए पैराग्राफ 22
पेज बताइए प्लीज.
पेज 612 के ऊपर पेपर बुक नंबर 1 नहीं सॉरी पेपर बुक नंबर 3
पेपर बुक. ये पेपर. Your Lordship want me to read at which para?
22 से आप आगे चलेंगे तो
according to the available record, the General Secretary of PTI is Mr. Asad Umar, and nothing in document is available that PTI or any other competent wing of PTI has ever elected Mr. Umar Ayub as Secretary General of PTI. We also failed to find here in PTI Constitution any provision that chairman of PTI may extend tenure of any office bearers, while the tenure of chairman itself has expired on 13/6/23. So after target date 13/6/23, chairman possesses no authority to exercise such power either to control or to extend the tenure of any office bearers. Such eventuality is well defined in the procedures provided under clause 4 of article 5 of PTI Constitution, which reads as under. In case of the chairman's position falling vacant due to any reason, the SG shall take additional charge of the office. In the interim, an elections for the chairman's office shall be held within 30 days of position falling vacant. So far 22 is just about appointments. Clause 1 of Article 5 General Provisions of PTI Constitution widely speaks about collective decision making, which reads as under. all decisions shall be taken by the corresponding governing body, executive committee, and other such bodies by a majority of vote. Minimum quorum required for validity shall be 75% for smaller bodies, committees, and 50% for the larger committees, councils of the total membership. Agenda items shall be distributed by the secretary along with invitation notice wherever possible. Clause 1.3 of Article 5 General Provisions of PTI Constitution describes that governing body can take provisional decisions in policy matters where there is enough room to believe that an executive committee meeting could not be convened in time. Again, nothing to do with the election. Thereafter, as mentioned here and above, it was mandatory for the PTI in terms of clause 1.4 of Article 5 that on expiry of 18 months thereafter the adoption of the PTI Constitution 2015, which has been adopted on 1/5/2019, to appoint the chief organizer who had to use all the powers and functions of the chairman, well mentioned there in clause 4.2 of Article 5 of the PTI Constitution, already reproduced here and above.
Para 26.
Going through the above mentioned clause 4 of Article 5 of the PTI Constitution, the PTI General Counsel, as per record supplied here to the Commission, adopted and approved the Constitution 2019 on 1/5/2019, and thereafter 18 months constitutionally the PTI is deemed to be run by chief organizer till the announcement of intra-party election of the federal EC, by the federal EC. However, it would be the chief organizer to nominate various members and constitute various committees in interim period. Thereafter 18 months of adoption of PTI Constitution 2019 and first intra-party election scheduled on 13/6/21. As the chairman of PTI never opted to hold intra-party election till 10/6/22, just 3 days before the target date of the intra-party election provided thereunder, Section 208 of the Election Act 2017, however, as the said election was not found to be held in accordance with PTI Constitution 2019, declared void by this Commission. As discussed here and above, in accordance with clause 4 of Article 5 of PTI Constitution 2019, all powers to organize PTI vests and deemed to vest in the chief organizer.